Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rapichas here. Decided to show you quickly the game between Hans Niemann and Dominguez. So they ended on a draw. A lot of interest was towards this game. Like population of followers of St. Louis channel doubled because of the scandal, and people actually very supportive to Hans. They show that they want to see a lot of evidence, and a lot of people criticize Magnus for quitting. Yeah, um, I I understand that there is no like protocol how to behave. Yeah, when you suspect somebody, because at least I've been playing online and. Uh, I've seen people sending me messages that I'm using an engine which I haven't, obviously, and I said them, okay, you can report your what you suspect, yeah, and I never got banned. And Hans had he admits that he got banned, and he tells some story behind it, but clearly something. It's not that easy, yeah, that you just say I'm sorry, yeah, and you just walk away. But people also praised him for his last interview, where he was trying to uh, and backfire and be like 100% honest in terms of his actions, and was openly speaking about what's going on. Interesting that MVL took very um, wise position. He said that he understands all these accusations, but according to his view, this is not. This is a witch hunt, basically, and there is no proof. He says that you cannot ban player for playing just good. Okay, so let's see this game. Linear plays white. A lot of players respect. Everybody respect Dominguez, I think, because he's humble, and in the meantime, he's not a dangerous. So you can have a good relationship with him. D3, everybody goes for this. Not going to knight g5, Italian game, bishop c5. So it all repeats every tournament now, and like small nuances, a6 or a5. And Alireza played bishop b6 before playing, but this, for me, it's one of the best options just to hide your bishop. Castles h3 and rook to e1. So this is uh, this position is I mean played millions of times, yeah, and you've seen if let's say opponent plays a5, if you go to knight f3, you can jump to b5 later in the game, but when pawn is on a6, it's more natural to go to this d2 square. Bishop to b3 with an option to hide it on c2 probably, but and he plays c5. So Hikaru, I mean, went crazy when he saw this move. Even though I have seen it before, it looked weird, but it appeared like 1-2 years ago maybe. People were playing it a lot. So probably to trade in the center and not to allow white to build up the center that easily. But again, Yasser said that in his days, nobody played like this because you have this excellent bishop and you block it with c5. I can agree with that. I wouldn't play c5 either. Bishop e6, knight to e2. So you don't want to normally take here because then I don't know. I couldn't break into this game, and black gets this f file for attack. They have perfect center, everything covered. So knight e3 and bishop to d2 move. I wouldn't consider. I want to have queen controlling d4, but probably not that easy to make a move here. It's kind of waiting game. And a4. Uh, so actually, at this point, Dominguez played very strongly. So he found out to open up the queen side and still get control of the center, yeah, and make sure that black is not in time to create some threats on f4. Bishop a4. And he played c4. So one of the ideas for black is to play d5 and open up the game. So bishop on b8 actually defends the c5 square, and when you open up, normally I guess that pawn on e5 is better than to have pawn on d3, and the same for change of color, yeah, e4 and d6. So he plays c4, and I liked how Dominguez played this game. Obviously, he was doing really good job. And b4. So he gains a lot of space, and he opens up this b file for his rooks, and it's going to be very important because b7 pawn is a backward pawn, and you can attack it different ways. So they traded queens and rook to c4. So he wants to, not to play rook to b1 because black can take the file. You cannot save this pawn, obviously, but you can attack it with proper rook. Okay, bishop e3, takes, f5. I mean, at this point, somehow game is not that difficult, I must say, because black just does all the natural moves, nothing really which can be addressed differently. Rook f7. So this I wouldn't like to play this. I think I'd come up with some, uh, knight to e7, g5 plan, but Hans decides to, save his pawn on b7. e4, defending, you want to restrict this knight. Knight to c8, and his knight is actually going to b5. So white has to make sure that if it goes there, then at least white loses a pawn. So that's why he plays knight f3. d4 takes, and now you see that this knight made a big trip to a7, and if it jumps here, then white will win at least one pawn and get real winning chances. g6, rook to b3, and h4. So in this position, Engine says that white is winning, +3, very good score. That he should have played knight to e6. I think he was thinking, Lynette decided that if he wins this pawn, then it's over for black. And he wanted, let's say, black to play something like rook to e7 and then jump with the knight. But didn't work that way. So knight to b5, and Engine says that knight to e6 is the only winning move. And they were discussing something like this. Yeah, knight to f8, like picking up this pawn, and okay, takes. Okay, so this wins this Very nice, but hard to spot, obviously. So they played differently. So linear played rook f3 first. You want to, defend your back ranks. Rook to e7. Counter-attack in e4. And rook c7. And engine shows zeros that these two rooks become very active, one of which attacks this pawn and the other will attack from the backside, and white is not in time to coordinate. And they haven't picked up this b7 pawn. Check. Started to repeat. All right, good game by Dominguez. He didn't manage to win it, but with all this drama, I think he's pretty satisfied with what. All right, many thanks for watching and see you next time.